Alright guys, what's going on? It's your boy Jarhead, and I'm here with a good friend, Future Synth. How's it going?
What's up?
So we're going to
Going
be
good.
talking about a bunch of stuff. He's got some stuff he wants to talk about. I got some stuff we could want to talk about, mainly gaming related, you know, E3, all that jazz. But what do you want to get into first?
Well, I was thinking of getting into the Breath of the Wild sequel and some theories, speculation.
Okay. So
Sound good?
yeah, at the end of the E3 Direct, Nintendo decided they would reveal, hey, let's reveal Breath of the Wild 2. They're working on it. We don't know much about it, but we got a little cinematic trailer, and a bunch of theories have been popping up, and we just want to go over some of them.
Yeah. So most of it that I want to cover is just speculation, right? So the first thing is the Zonai tribe,
Yeah,
right? The Zonai are very prominent in Breath of the Wild because we don't really know very much about them. We can speculate. We know that the barbarian armor was made by them,
yeah,
and we do know all those ruins, like all over Hyrule, the labyrinth. So obviously they were working with the Sheikah somehow,
yeah,
right? Because they were working with the Sheikah to get the shrines
yeah.
open.
Because we have those giant maze things, and there's the shrines, and
Right.
this is hidden in each of these mazes. And each of the shrines, there's the Zonai, the Zonai barbarian armor, and also it said the Zonai disappeared about like what was it, like 10,000 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And that was the same time Calamity Ganon came for the first time. So there's a whole, well, we don't know first time, but first time we hear about it. So there's a bunch of stuff that, so yeah.
So another thing is the style of the ruins that they walk past in the trailer. And you should probably like flash this on the screen in the video. But like the style of the ruins, they're very spiral-like and very square, very like geometric,
Yeah.
and so it's just very close to the Zonai ruins that we're very used to.
Yeah.
Another thing is the ceiling hand, the green hand that is on what is presumed to be Ganondorf's corpse.
Yeah.
Um, the bracelet is also in that style, right? It's very spiral like, but still in like a square shape. This is very much like a just like kind of throwing it out there, but it kind of looks like the Zonai style, and you know the spiraling runes that come out of
Yeah.
it. We see a shot that comes down from the top, and it's a giant spiral, which is the logo of the Zonai.
Yeah.
And I
There's,
just want to add the logo of the Zonai is a spiral, and it also looks like the Kokiri spiral.
yeah, there's a lot of connections that, you know, that we've seen. Not to mention, like, we haven't seen Ganon in 10,000 years, and he also happens to be in a Zonai temple who disappeared 10,000 years ago. So I mean, it's possible maybe he was put down there while the Zonai were still around, and
hmm
I don't know. There's a lot of speculation. Do you want to go over some of the theories about like what's actually going on, like the time travel one?
Yeah, so one of the theories that I've thought of that might be connecting is that you know when the castle raises up at the end of the trailer,
Yeah,
there's very little evidence for it, but you know the theory about how the Great Plateau and the Lost Woods were switched, right?
yeah, I've heard that theory.
Like they just like swap places, so maybe it's the same thing, but I'm just like that's just kind of like I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a concept art about Ganon's castle or the castle that he's
Right.
in being in the air.
Yeah.
So it could be that he comes back and I don't know, Ganon,
Uh-huh.
whatever he does, he puts it in the air. So that's a possibility, but
Yeah.
it could
And
be.
it does make sense that that Ganondorf is back because Calamity Ganon doesn't really mean much if you think about like the Thunderblight Ganon, the Fireblight Ganon.
Yeah,
It's just another Blight Ganon. And what's more, the title of Calamity Ganon is the Scourge of Hyrule Castle, and that's what all
yeah,
the other Blight Ganons had. They were the Scourge of Varuda or the Scourge of Put Divine Beast here. So it doesn't really mean much. So it could just be another Blight Ganon. and that's why they have to go down and just kill Ganondorf himself.
And also, of course, we hear King Rome talking about like how the what is it called? Ganon comes from below the castle,
Right, right,
where all the calamity, or not the calamity, the malice we see coming off of the dead body of Ganon or whatever.
right.
So I mean, there's a very good chance that he is emulating this malice somehow, or I'm not sure, but controlling it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it probably comes from him. You know, the Triforce of Power, right?
yeah,
It's probably just become like so corrupted with his desire over like the process of thousands and thousands of years that he's just like he has so much power now.
yeah. And I mean, whatever the curse is that's holding him down, and a few YouTubers have somewhat decrypted the what was it, the Gerudo text that says
Oh
"Seal
yeah.
Ganon." So it's a very good possibility that
Oh
have you seen that?
no, I haven't actually.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
forget
I
who it
knew
was. It might have been. I think it was like I don't know exactly one of the YouTubers, but they've decoded it to saying "Seal Ganon." It's not 100% sure, but it looks somewhat like that.
Oh,
Um,
that's really cool
so
actually.
there's a good chance that the seal has been down here, and the hate from Ganon has been like corrupt. I mean, building up, and
And right, and you see in the trailer, Link touches it, and some of it goes into his hand.
yeah,
So that might be what breaks the seal, and
yeah,
that's why scary neck snap like Ganondorf when he looks at Zelda.
yeah. Do you think this Ganon though is the Ganon from Twilight Princess?
I'm not entirely sure. I've seen people talking about people like Zeltic and Nintendo Black Crisis. They've been talking about how the hand is holding him in the same place where he was stabbed in the
Yeah,
botch execution by the sages, and I was like,
it's like somewhat in the same
that's
place.
it's somewhat in the same place. Ganon was sort of stabbed in the stomach in Twilight Princess,
Yeah,
while the hand is kind of holding him near the chest.
yeah,
Um, there isn't very much to go off of because they just look so different. Part
yeah.
of that is because this Ganondorf is, mummified.
Like
Um, no, go ahead.
like we really have no idea where Breath of the Wild fits in the timeline. We assume maybe it's in the child timeline because
Well,
Zelda mentions Twilight, but that could just be a mention. We don't know. Breath
I
of
mean, the Zelda team hoped to put Breath of the Wild so far ahead of the timeline that it wouldn't really matter where it
Yeah,
positioned.
it's kind of like a new thing. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah,
So it's like kind of a new Breath of the Wild timeline, where kind
It-
of all the timelines converge or something. I don't know.
yeah,
And so another thing I wanted to talk about was the landscape. Again, when the Hyrule Castle raises up, because it's actually a really important part of the trailer.
yeah,
So, one thing, there are no Sheikah Towers, no shrines, no divine beasts, and Hyrule Castle's like storage pillars or like it's not decayed or destroyed at all,
yeah,
which is very strange to me. I don't think that they like just kind of sank back into the ground because they Zelda talked about like at the very end, if you get the true ending, I think she says like Varuda, let's go and like fix it,
yeah.
right? And it just doesn't make very much sense to me that something so practical like the Sheikah Towers used for fast travel, things like that, but it doesn't seem very practical that they would just kind of leave.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, it's something could have happened. I don't know. Maybe they're, uh, yeah. But this fits into like the time travel theory, and
Right.
I
I know
don't
you have
know if
mixed
they're gonna
feelings
do that.
towards that.
Yeah, I have like I, it's very possible, but I'm also somewhat confused. Like, if it's the time travel theory, why are the Zonai tribe thing or the temple they're in? Why does it still look super old? There's a lot of questions, but
Well, I
it's
mean,
very possible.
so the Zonai tribe, I think, may be even older than the first Calamity,
Yeah,
right? So if if the first Calamity is just another, Calamity Ganon, and it's just another Blight Ganon, right?
Yeah.
It's possible that the Zonai have been there for ages, and they sealed Ganondorf. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
And they sealed Ganondorf, and he's still somehow doing all of this, corrupting all the Sheikah technology. And he's not just like mindless; he's got intelligence,
Yeah.
right?
He.
Because he knew his plan of attack was to corrupt all of their Sheikah tech
Yeah.
and just like totally wreck Hyrule.
So. Yeah.
Yeah, like the time travel theory, possibility.
But
What do you want to go over next? Like,
yeah, do you want to go over some like hopes and like things you would like to see in the next Zelda game?
yeah. So why don't you start?
So I would really like them to go in depth more, obviously with the Zonai tribe. That'd be cool. Talking about not maybe keeping them in somewhat mystery, but at least expanding on them, and then also expanding on the Sheikah. Like, how did they build all this crazy stuff? Maybe the time shift stone theory, is that true? Is it not? I'm not sure. Like how they've kept like the shrines and all that stuff in perfect condition. Just more, not I'd say just a better story, because Breath of the Wild's story was like cool, but it wasn't very like
It's
it was
pretty
more.
lackluster.
Yeah, it was more about like the
There was not very
adventure.
much of it.
Yeah,
But what I did like about Breath of the Wild's story is that it left things to be discovered,
yeah,
stuff that isn't really explicitly talked about in the game, like the Zonai tribe.
yeah.
Nobody ever talks about them, but they're just there.
They obviously have some importance because they're all over.
Right.
And we see literally Ganon is in a Zonai tribe, or it's got to be a Zonai tribe, the
Yeah.
temple, and I don't know. There's got to be some importance to them. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
hopefully we get to learn more about that. But my next hope is that we also get. I hope, because I saw Zelda, she falls in the trailer. I hope she's not just pushed to like being the princess we have to save. I hope she's part of the story, maybe even
Oh
as a
yeah, me
playable
too.
character.
I really hope that like this time in this game, that aside from being the damsel in distress,
Yeah.
that would be really great. I'd really like that. It just makes her feel more important. And now with her cut hair symbolizing her character growth, from going from like being trapped in Hyrule, her sworn duty sealing Ganondorf, or sealing Ganon rather. Now that's all gone, and so now she's kind of free, and so it just signifies her character development.
Yeah, and also like it's past Zeldas, we'd have to save them and stuff. But with Breath of the Wild, it didn't really seem like we weren't really saving Zelda, 'cause she was kind of saving Hyrule already. She was
Yeah,
literally holding Ganon back from destroying everything in Hyrule Castle.
and
So
she's the one who kills Darth Beast Ganon at the
yeah,
very end.
and she has the full Triforce. She's obviously a super powerful character. So I'd love to see what we could do.
Right.
Maybe not play with as her, but at least have her as like an active part of the story.
Yeah, like a companion or something.
Yeah.
Another thing from this game is traditional dungeons.
Yep.
That would be amazing.
I would love to see a Zonai dungeon, temple
Right, and
dungeon.
one thing in the trailer, it shows them zooming in on like the entrance to some sort of ruin.
Yeah.
So maybe it might be a dungeon, and like the Zelda team does listen to people at times, and they know that one of the main problems with Breath of the Wild is that there were no traditional dungeons,
Yeah.
and I would really love to see that.
I would love to see more Sheikah dungeons, also more like traditional dungeons, some elemental dungeons. I don't even know. Just something.
Or maybe it's all one big dungeon, right?
Yeah.
Like underground, being underground with.
Yeah, that'd be
And I know you don't like the idea that we're going to stay underground the whole game, but I mean, I think that's what's going to happen, because it doesn't seem like, one, it doesn't seem like we're going to have to go outside, and two, it doesn't seem like we're going to be able to go outside, right? Because the castle raises up, and so
Here's my theory on that. Maybe we get stuck underground for part of the game. I don't think we'll be stuck under it for the whole game, just by the fact that it was shown that Mr. or whatever Aonuma, who is like one of the main directors, said he wants to revisit the same Hyrule. He wants to
Hmm.
change it, and so I do think there will be a big importance on the underground of the game, and that's going to be pretty awesome going seeing what's down there. But
Yeah,
like a big hope for me is that they like I don't know. They rebuild maybe Castletown, but in the trailer we didn't even see Castletown really. We just see the castle pulling out of the ground. I don't know. Maybe more overworld stuff because it was kind of lackluster, but you end up getting lost with all the different stuff you can do. So
yeah,
Breath of the Wild 1 was fine in that aspect, but I'd like to see like I don't know. I just like to see what they how they changed the whatever the
yeah,
overworld.
yeah, absolutely. I think Aonuma saying that he revisit. I think that might be his excuse for saying that he wants to reuse assets because he really doesn't want to make new
Yeah,
ones.
that's what I was thinking too. Probably.
Yeah, and so like it's probably. I mean, I think he does want to elaborate on the story since many people were disappointed on the story, but most of it is just thinking. I think he just wants to reuse those assets.
Yeah, but well, the Hyrule we got in Breath of the Wild was pretty sick. So if they do reuse it, I honestly won't be too disappointed because
Yeah,
it's huge, and there was a lot of
yeah.
stuff they could have done with it that they didn't.
Mhm.
And something else I hope they do is they give us more reason to actually like. I wouldn't say explore because there was a lot of reason to explore in Breath of the Wild, but like with Breath of the Wild, you go into a shrine, you get a spirit orb, and maybe some weapon you probably won't end up using. I hope there's more things that we end up actually wanting to go get, more side quests
Yeah,
that are more enticing.
and this ties into maybe like traditional. You go in and you actually get an item that's titled to the dungeon, just
Yeah,
like traditional Zelda dungeons.
yeah, and there's a few things I hope they fix, including like the rain. I do want them to keep the rain because it ties in with the physics, but maybe not so often. I also hope they make it harder for weapons to break, but I actually did enjoy the weapon breaking system because it
Yeah,
encouraged you to not just uh, like you can't just keep the same overpowered weapon and destroy everything. You
right.
have to figure out which ones you're gonna use. But yeah, so that's all stuff that I hope they do.
Yeah, yeah. I really hope that they fix some of the music because
Oh
while the
yeah,
Breath of the Wild music was great, it was very same. It was very
yeah,
much piano, like just piano remixes of old songs or some orchestral themes, but mostly just kind of the piano. So I'm just hoping to see some more
yeah.
variety in music choice.
Like maybe when you go into a shrine, if there's shrines in this game, I don't think there will be, probably because we don't see them in the trailer. But if you go into something like that, it's not just the same music. Maybe they have like a mix of different musics that will come on.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh, so what do you want to talk about next? Like Smash characters, more Zelda, or what do you want to get into?
I think let's talk about the Smash for these next characters.
Yeah,
So I'm really excited for Banjo Kazooie.
yeah.
That's so cool. That's really awesome.
It's the first
Uh,
Western character we've gotten.
yeah, exactly. And something I'm not so happy about is Dragon Quest.
Yeah,
It's not that I don't like Dragon Quest. I've never really played it. I'm not really into it. But the thing I'm disappointed with the Dragon Quest character is it's kind of like Robin mixed with Link.
yeah. It
That's
kind of just
literally
looks like
kind of
another
all.
Fire Emblem character.
Yeah, it's kind of just Sakurai's excuse to add another Fire Emblem character into the game.
Yeah,
Which
Eh,
is, I mean, it's like it's good for Dragon Quest reps, right? Like that's what people have been wanting for a long time, and now they finally have it. And I know a lot of people are happy about it, but I'm just not happy about the character variety. I know that
yeah,
there's some gimmicks that he's going to have, which is going to make him like a little more interesting than Fire Emblem characters.
yeah. I saw
But
like the RPG thing where you can like choose
yeah,
a move that looked pretty cool.
yeah.
Uh,
Um, uh,
oh, you can
do you
go.
want to start deviating from Nintendo?
Yeah, but what do you want to talk? You want to talk some other games we saw at E3?
Yeah. So one thing that me and what that I and everyone who's been following this game for a long time, Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, it
It
looks
looks
so great.
amazing,
Oh my
and
god.
it just looks like the most like choice-filled open world that we could ever possibly
It looks
have.
like GTA on crack.
Yeah, GTA, just like all these open worlds like Skyrim, just like on
Yeah,
crack, just like steroids.
and
It's like,
it's
it looks
it's
amazing.
huge. I mean, we don't know how big it is yet, but like just from what we've seen, it looks like super big. And
And you're going to be able to explore like all of the whole city night.
yep.
And plus Keanu Reeves. I
Oh,
know a lot of people joined on the Cyberpunk bandwagon because of Keanu Reeves, which I personally think isn't a good. It's not a reason to be excited for the game like alone. I mean, it's like it's Keanu Reeves, come on, but I don't think that like it's a reason for people to be freaking out about this game
yeah,
because it kind of like demeans the whole like, oh yeah, but there's all this other stuff. But look at Keanu Reeves, look at him, like the
yeah.
Fortnite man.
I know. But
Oh my gosh.
what I like about Cyberpunk is they're kind of pulling like an Undertale, and you can go complete pacifist with this game.
Right.
You don't have to. And I saw a bunch of people getting pissed off on like Twitter and stuff about like how you can just shoot up. You just shoot up black people in this game called animals. It's like no, you don't have to kill anybody. You can go completely pacifist, and it's
Of course, people on Twitter are complaining about it. People on Twitter are out of things to complain about.
yeah. I know people, but yeah, I've never played Cyberpunk. I watched some stuff from
No one's
2044,
ever played Cyberpunk.
but the game looks super awesome.
I'm absolutely going to buy that.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
It's on sale for pre-orders now.
Is it coming to Steam?
Like, it's already on Steam.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get it. I don't have this computer. I'm using my brother's, but when I do get my
Right.
computer, I'm gonna definitely get that game. Another game I want to talk about personally. I don't know if you've is Halo Infinite. Like, I just need
Oh,
to
right.
talk about this game. Like,
Yeah. So the thing I'm disappointed about is that we pretty much only got cinematic trailers.
yeah,
Right. And you know that's cool and all, but I really would like to see some gameplay.
yeah.
Like actually seeing what this game is going to be. But
Yeah.
I'm sure it's pretty early in development.
Yeah,
Or
I
maybe
think it's
not.
coming
Maybe
out
it's-
with the release of the next console, which is in like the holiday of 2020. So we have like a year and a half to go.
Yeah, they really hyped up a console for something that we never.
Yeah,
Like they didn't show anything. They were just like 8K gaming and like 60, like 120 FPS and like, whoa, that sounds great, but can we actually see it, please?
yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. But like, I don't know. I love the returning to form with Halo. Halo 5 was I'll just say it straight out shit. Halo 4 was okay.
Demonetized.
But they're bringing stuff. 343's figuring it out. They're bringing it over to PC. Halo.
Yes.
They're
You know, I've never really been into Halo, but I'm hoping to get
yeah,
a collection.
yeah. I know a lot of people who haven't played or never had Xbox. Like, I'm a huge Halo fan. Second favorite gaming franchise behind Pokemon. But like what I was saying, they're returning to form. They're bringing back Chief's old armor. They got the old music. It just feels Halo Combat Evolved, and holy shit, am I excited for that game.
Yeah. It's pretty exciting. I'll have to admit that the trailer, I didn't actually know what it was.
Yeah, I
Until
didn't
they showed
understand
like
it either.
Master Chief floating around in space.
Yeah, we don't know what's happening. I think it's like a couple months or a couple years in the future from Halo 5. And shit's just kind of gone to hell, I think. But
Even human, he's like 8 feet tall.
he's human. He's got human augmentation. he's
8
huge.
feet tall?
I
Come
think
on.
I think he's like 7'2" or 7'3".
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
ridiculous.
him and Doom Guy are just like biggies.
Yeah, they're absolute units.
I know. People, I saw this meme going around how Master Chief is like the puny version of Doom Guy. I'm like, don't disrespect Chief, all right? Chief is.
Well, I mean, Doom Guy did kind of, defeat the legions of hell.
I know, but yeah, I know he's fighting off freaking demons on Mars and shit. But Chief is blowing his way through alien ships and like fucking shit up. I don't know. I like both of them. I actually haven't played
Yeah.
Doom. I need to get that game.
Yeah, Doom Eternal. It looks all right. It kind of just looks like Doom 2016,
Yeah,
premium version, kind of. Just like it just looks like Doom Plus, right? It doesn't look very original. They do have
yeah,
some more like mobility and like takedown animations,
yeah.
but it's just kind of like whatever.
It looks okay. I mean, nothing like we've already kind of seen it before, but it's a good format. So I might get it if I play the first one and I like it.
Let's talk about Bethesda for a second.
Yeah,
Oh, Bethesda. They announced their stupid cloud gaming service, and
yeah.
my feelings towards cloud gaming is like that's incredibly stupid. That's like, wow, I'm
Yeah,
streaming 60 FPS to your phone, right? I'm playing Doom on my phone.
yeah.
It's not going to be that. That's not going to be as good as it
I
looks.
think
And
in the future, cloud gaming will become the norm, but right now we don't
oh, I
need it.
hope not.
Because I love having physical games. I love like not just physical games, but actually, cloud gaming. It just I don't know. Half the country is without enough internet to actually run that shit. I mean, the Google
Right.
Stadia looks okay. It's cheap
Yeah.
and you can run games like that, but I'd rather
Yeah,
just buy a game and play the
I
game.
would rather just buy the game itself and
Yeah,
but but that's the thing. If it were a Netflix-like service, then it would be much better. But
but
Stadia, it's like not.
it's not.
It's
You have
you
to
have to
pay for.
pay, and you get like a few games in the starter bundle, but then you have to.
You have to
But
pay.
everyone thought it would be like Netflix, where you pay the service and you get access to all these
Yeah,
games.
but of course they can't do that because why would the game developers put their service on like a $20 a month thing where they can get $60 for one game?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
right now, a movie is not worth the same as a game because it's 2 hours of enjoyment. You can rewatch it, sure, but it's not the same as a game.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I think Bethesda again kind of screwed it up. Last year was kind of shit too. I honestly don't even remember. I think they revealed like Elder Scrolls 6, which is pretty cool, but again, they didn't show us
Yeah,
anything
but they
about it.
haven't showed anything about that,
They
and I
showed
really
us
hope it's not 70.
yeah, again, they showed us that space game last year, nothing from that. Really the only games that interest me was Doom Eternal, which looks pretty good, but nothing
Yeah,
new. And
looks alright. Yeah.
then the new Wolfenstein, but it's not even really like a main Wolfenstein. I don't know what it is. It's like Youngblood
Oh
or
yeah.
something.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like Bethesda. They need to really step up their game
Yeah,
because right now
it's not looking too good. EA,
yeah.
we don't talk about EA.
I mean, EA's presentation looked a little bit
Yeah,
promising, right? Their new Star Wars game looks kind of sick, but then again, it was like a cinematic trailer, so where
yeah.
was
They showed
oh
some gameplay, but the problem is, I know it's not the final release, but God, that game does not look like it's up to date for like these consoles that they're putting it on. Maybe if it looks okay, but I don't know. They're probably
yeah.
gonna screw it up somehow. Hopefully not.
All right, so let's go back. I know that we because a few things that are a little bit worrying to me. The first thing is that um, Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Oh, I'm off.
Yeah,
I'm in the process of writing a script because I literally could not find the weird words for how I'm pissed off. Like I'm a huge Pokemon fan and I'm pissed off.
right.
Those of you who don't know the situation, Nintendo's or not Nintendo, Game Freak is basically removing the national decks, and that's like I would be fine if they were just removing the national decks because that means you just can't get whatever. It just doesn't show you some. But they're removing like half the Pokemon you were able to get in like the past games. So,
Why is that?
um, what do you mean? Why is what?
Why are they doing that?
Oh, so what they're doing is so right now in the series there's like 800 Pokemon. They're probably gonna add a couple more with Sword and Shield, like maybe 100 at most.
Yeah.
So like 900 in total. But with Sword and Shield, they're only allowing you to get up to like 500 of the Pokemon that are already in Sword and Shield. With past games, you
Oh,
could trade over from other games and you could get every Pokemon. But with this one, Uh, they're literally cutting off like 400 or 500 Pokemon just because they said it's been too hard to code them into the game and it'd take too long.
Yikes.
And this pisses me off because Nintendo does not
Yeah,
have any problem delaying their games to make a better
right,
game.
right, exactly. I think this is sort of Game Freak's problem. And have you seen any of the gameplay of Sword and Shield?
Yeah, it's nothing too
The
crazy.
game looks awful.
It looks 3DS.
It looks like it looks like a past gen game, and
And
it's missing a bunch of like textures, and there's a lot of stuff that's just like there that shouldn't be.
yeah,
Hold on, let me get a picture just like for the scale.
yeah. And this is not obviously it's not final, but basically this game's coming out in a couple months. Uh and they're charging $60 for this game and they say it's too hard to code this into the game. It's not too hard. They just don't want to spend the time and money on making more characters. It's pretty bullshit in my opinion. They're kind of turning into like Activision where they're launching a new Call of Duty every year. They can't take one off year to make a better game.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's pretty terrible. Like over at Nintendo, they cut the whole development process or cut the whole development for Metroid Prime 4 because they wanted to make a better game.
they gave it to another company, which is the same company that is that, and so like they gave it to that company in hopes of actually making a good Metroid.
Yeah, same with Breath of the Wild. It was supposed to come out in like 2015, I think, right? They delayed it
Yeah,
by like 2 years because they wanted to make a better game.
yeah, exactly.
Game Freak,
Which
on
is
the other
great. I
hand,
mean,
can't delay the game 1 year. They've probably been working on it for like 1 or 2 years. It's pretty bullshit in my opinion. And they're adding the whole Kanto region into the game. Why? Because they said they're gonna add all the new Sword and Shield Pokemon and some past fan favorite Pokemon, but they're actually just adding in some fan favorite Pokemon and the whole Kanto region because they already made the sprites for the Kanto region for Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
yeah,
They're
yeah. I mean, just like if you've seen some, I can't find a picture of it, but if you've seen some of the E3 gameplays, like the Nintendo Treehouse gameplays, like there are missing textures. The animations are stiff.
yeah.
Like
I'm
just everything just
I'm
looks
I'm glad they're
bad.
going like open world, but it's not really open world. It's just like Pokemon open world, and it's kind of
Yeah.
it's honestly at this point, I'd be happier if they made like an old gen, like 16 or whatever they had for the DS looking low quality looking game because I don't know what they're doing. This what they have now. It's not up to date. It doesn't look good.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind and they're also with the Dynamax. The Dynamax just kind of pissed me off
Oh,
because
that's so unoriginal and uninspired.
yeah, like the Mega
That's literally just
Evolutions.
big Pokemon. That's it.
Yeah, I know the Mega Evolutions was pretty awesome. The Z
Yeah,
moves
that was
were
so cool because it was like,
yeah,
wow, you get original new design of just like redesigns of cool looking Pokemon, and
yeah,
you get to expand on their moveset even more,
yeah, and
and it just made you feel so cool.
it's like oh my god, this Pokemon Mega Evolution. I get to use the stone to evolve this thing, and
Right. And
and
now just with Dynamax, it's just big Pokemon,
yeah,
and there's no like redesign. I'm just getting a whole like low effort feeling
yeah,
that they're gonna be like EA. They're just gonna try and push the game out,
exactly.
which is really worrying to me.
The Pokemon we've seen so far look okay, but I
Yeah.
mean,
The world has already fallen in love with Wooloo.
yeah, I mean, I don't really like Wooloo. I actually more like the Steel Bird Pokemon. I don't even know what it's called, but
Yeah, he looks cool.
the new designs look okay. They're nothing like great. I've seen better, but I'm not mad with that. I'm just mad that it doesn't seem like they're trying at all, and
Yeah,
I don't know.
it just feels really low effort, and they've been hyped. And the legendaries,
They're okay.
boring.
Yeah,
They look boring.
it would look good if one of them looked like that, but they both look
But-
kind
but-
of the same with just a shield and a sword.
And they don't even look like legendary Pokemon.
Yeah.
They just look like, dogs.
And
with
one of
a
the
sword and a
the shield one looks better in my opinion because it's actually fits into his design. The shield one,
right.
I mean the
And
sword
the
is
sword
just
one, he's just holding the sword in his mouth. Like, how dumb is that?
It's stupid. I
Yeah,
um
it is stupid.
yeah, like I don't know. It's we'll see. I made a video like is Pokemon dying like 4 or 5 months ago, and I honestly think Pokemon is dying. Let's Go Pikachu
I
and Eevee kind of sucked in my opinion. Game was boring.
I I hope that they pull a Sonic movie and they like delay it
Yeah,
just to fix all the stuff that people have been talking about.
yeah,
Um, and like it's just it's really disappointing.
yeah,
Um, I really hope that Nintendo improves the quality of their Switch Online service
yeah.
because that's like you only get those NES games, virtual console library, but no, they give you NES games that really no one really plays.
I mean, the
I mean,
service is cheap, but it has nothing to offer but
yeah,
online. That's the only
but
reason
crappy
I bought
online.
it is because it has the online. I don't care about the NES games they're adding. They're pretty terrible. I'd rather have a service where I can actually buy the games I want. I don't want
Right,
like golf for the NES. I want to play like Super Mario World for the SNES. I want to play games
right,
that I actually enjoy, not just random
yeah,
games they're giving me. And it's like, oh well, it's only $20. It's like, oh yeah, it was free before. Okay,
yeah, and it's like, you know, my feelings towards NES games is like, okay, it's fun for like 3 minutes
yeah,
because it's all kind of the same.
yeah.
It's fun for 3 minutes, and then it's like, what is this? Like,
And
this is kind of
if
boring.
you're a newer player, like if you're a nostalgia junkie who had the NES back in the day, sure, it's going to be a lot of fun because it's your memories. But for somebody who's never played the NES, really, it's not too interesting. It's kind of
I
like
mean,
playing an Atari game. It
I mean, I have an NES,
yeah,
right? And I have like this cart 100 of the best games on the NES, and I've played at some of the most classics, right? And
yeah,
they're all like fun for 3 seconds,
yeah,
and like the original Zelda, it's fun if you know what to do, if you're following a strategy guide.
yeah. Um, I mean, even if they just add the some SNES games, because SNES to me is
Yeah,
where the games actually start getting more in depth and
yeah, that's like
interesting.
that's one of the best consoles.
Yeah, it's great. They had one of the best 2D Zelda games. They had
Fast.
yeah.
They
So
had they had Chrono Trigger, one of the best RPGs of all time. And just all these great games. They should definitely have an SNES library because that'd be so much more appealing to everyone on the planet.
yeah,
Another thing, and I think this is the final thing that I have in store to talk about is like Luigi's Mansion 3.
hmm
So it looks cool, but I'm not sure about the art design. The style looks a little bit disappointing.
yeah,
I think the ghost designs are really, really kind of bad. Just the normal ghosts. I enjoyed the original Luigi's because they had kind of like a squashed, more like cartoony look. But all the ghosts in Luigi's Mansion 3 are just kind of like skinny, like kind of the kind of just weird looking. I
yeah.
just don't like the look of it.
I'm.
It's
It's interesting. They're like taking a new route. Like they're in the hotel and it's
yeah.
multiplayer. I think right. You can
Yeah, they actually are bringing back portrait ghosts, which is great.
yeah. So I
If
mean, I
if
don't
you
think I'll
don't
buy
like
it
it,
just because that game doesn't seem too appealing to me. But I might. I think I'll take a look at it. I want to see if it comes out first. I am excited for Mario Maker 2. That looks pretty cool.
oh yeah, of
Um,
course.
Animal Crossing looks pretty good. Although, have you heard what they're doing with Animal Crossing?
No, I haven't.
They're cutting off cloud saves for Animal Crossing.
Oh, what the heck? Why?
I for honest, I don't know. They didn't even give a reason. They're just no cloud saves for Animal Crossing.
That's like okay. What? Why?
It's kind of like false advertising because they say one of the main features of the online is cloud saves, right? Nope, you can't use them for like half the games. You can't use them
That's
for Pokemon. You can't use them for this.
yeah.
It kind of sucks.
and there's not even like there's not even like actual like it's not good internet. So yeah, I mean I hope they like just start giving their service just making it better.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing is they should really remaster games.
Hmm.
That's a really good decision, and people have been doing that more lately with like the Spyro and just like you
Link's
know
Awakening looks pretty good.
yeah, Link's Awakening looks all right, and I hope that they start doing this for real Zelda, like some of the more popular ones. Like I want a real Majora's Mask remake or a
Oh,
real
yeah.
of Time
Not a
remake.
3DS
The
remaster.
3DS is like inferior to the original anyway.
Yeah, it.
Like ugh,
I
you
would
know
I would be so excited if they announced a Majora's Mask, maybe even an Ocarina of Time remaster. That'd be pretty
yeah,
awesome.
that would be amazing.
If they just ported Wind Waker from the Wii U, because that one looked pretty good.
Yeah,
I've
the Wind
actually
Waker is
never
huge.
played Wind Waker. That's one of the few big Zelda games I haven't
Oh
played.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, it's really good.
yeah,
It's got open world. It's like it's really good.
yeah. I need to play that game because I didn't have a Wii U.
Yeah,
So is that pretty much all?
I think that's it. It's overall kind of disappointing, but we are really excited for Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, Cyberpunk. It
Yeah,
looking fantastic.
yeah,
So if any more news comes, we might have more of these episodes. I'll see how it does. We can have
yeah.
Daniel on again or Future Synth. Is it okay? What do you want me to call you?
I don't care.
Okay, and more people on. I don't know. Maybe I'll turn this into like a full podcast show. But yeah, thanks for talking. You don't have a YouTube channel. I don't know why. You should have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I've been thinking of making one, and so I pretty much have had a collab before I've actually made a channel.
Yeah, well, if you do make a channel, I'll give you a shout out and stuff so people can learn about you. But yeah,
Yeah,
thanks
great.
guys. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you guys later, and that's been it. All right.
Jarhead out.
All right.